Welcome to Celebrate a Sister podcast. I'm your host, Emma Walkinshaw. I'm a transformational coach. I'm also the founder of Embody Me program and the creator of 21 Minutes of Morning Magic. You may also find me on the yoga mat leading yoga sessions and also running retreats here in Australia and internationally. Here on the podcast, I bring you some pretty incredible guests. We talk all things self-belief, body acceptance, personal development, outdated beauty standards, and we also call BS on the toxic diet culture, accepting the beautiful bodies we were born into, letting go of all the beliefs, and raising our self-awareness. I also come to you from time to time with a little solo episode, a little Life According to Emma moment. I'm so glad you're here. Enjoy. Have you checked out my latest creation? Yes, I am a published author. I've written a book, 365 Days of Morning Magic, Manifest a Life You Love with Clarity, Calm and Joy. This little book is a daily guide that helps you set your intentions. I also invite you to join my free group, 21 Minutes of Morning Magic on Facebook, where I gather regularly with you all and we go through a beautiful little process of yoga, some flowetry, setting an intention for the day. So if you'd love to be part of that, click the link below and I hope you enjoy this beautiful little book. A big warm welcome to this week's episode of Celebrate a Sister. Yes, I am solo this week, no guest with me this week, and I'm just about to head off to Byron Bay tomorrow to deliver some yoga and workshops at a dear friend's retreat called Rest and Receive with the beautiful Emma Lavelle. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I have to say one of my favorite things is delivering at retreats and also attending retreats for many reasons. I love that we have a little chance to stop, get off the ride of life, take out some time and some space just to be. And let's not deny it, sometimes our nervous system just needs a bit of a break. And a retreat's a great way to do it because it's a bit of a solo holiday. There's not that need to bring the family, which is really great. So that's what I'm up to. So I've been in the midst of pulling together a workshop to deliver over the next few days. And one of the concepts I have been introduced to, which is ancient and old. Upon my research, it's very old, but a dear friend of mine that you've all potentially met, beautiful Yogi Louie, who I co-facilitate retreats in India. Actually, India is completely sold out for March 2024. And some very exciting news. It looks like we're going to release another date for 2024 because there has been such an overflow of beautiful women wanting to experience India. However, today I'm not here to talk about India. I'm here to talk about the stages that we go through in our body. And this is only as a woman at the age of 48 that I can start to reflect on my own body image and body acceptance story, because it is a story. You know, there's a story that we tell ourselves around our body, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And yes, diet culture has had a massive impact on me, and I'm sure it has you also, in the messaging that we've heard over the years about different diets and measuring ourselves against one kind of woman's body that we have seen predominantly in the media, which is tall and slender. This process or this concept, would I say, this information has helped me really appreciate and savor the stage I'm at. So the ancient roots of this philosophy is they called it the triple goddesses. So it's the Maiden, the Mother, the Crone. And this is talking about the stages that a woman goes through. So the ancient roots around this methodology was saying that as a woman, we, in our late teens, early 20s, are a maiden, and then we move into the mother phase where we are mothering and birthing children or being creative. And then we move into the crone stage. But then as the modern times move through, purely because we have a longer lifespan now, they introduced a new stage of a woman's life called Maga. So that sits between the mother and the crone. So they acknowledged that once a woman has finished in her childbearing years, which is technically me right now, I'm in Maga phase. I'm not yet crone. I'm not grandmother. I'm not wise woman yet, but I'm Maga. So I'm in this transition from mother to wise woman. And this is the woman in perimenopause, menopause. And then they tied it into the 4 phases of the cycle of the moon, and almost like the stages that we go through when we're menstruating. So it is this beautiful little methodology, and how I found this incredibly helpful around my body acceptance and my body appreciation. You may have heard me say it before. A grieving happens when we move from each one of these stages, perhaps a grieving of the body we had. And we hear this in language. We hear the mother may say, I can't wait to get to my pre-baby body. The mother is never going to reverse and go back to the maiden body. She's not. She is now the mother. And I've gone through stages where I've felt in this Maga phase, this perimenopause, menopause phase, I have grieved not having a period anymore, a cycle. And that's me wanting to return to my mother phase, not sitting in the Maga phase. So it is interesting how we perhaps in a very subtle way even beat up on our bodies, disrespect our body. Well, that's definitely been my story. It's never been good enough. It's always been to this or to that. So today I want to talk you through the stages of a woman's body, and the aim is that perhaps this is going to help you actually savor where you're at and really enjoy the beautiful moment you're in, whether it be the maiden, the mother, the Maga, or the crone phase, because you've had your time in each phase, and each phase is to be enjoyed and celebrated, the good, the bad, and the in-between. There was a time where I would be cursing that I got a period. Now I miss it. It is the interesting thing about life and how we see things, isn't it? It's an interesting thing. So let me talk to you about the maiden. So the beautiful maiden, she is the phase of the waxing moon, and she is associated with spring. So even if we think of the energy of spring, there is an innocence and a newness, like lambs are born in spring, flowers are starting to come into bloom. It symbolizes growth, learning, and exploration. I definitely remember my maiden years very fondly. I was an apprentice hairdresser. I was in that beautiful excitement and youth of life. It's associated with the Greek goddess Persephone and the Celtic goddess Bridget. So the energies are vitality, independence, and curiosity. And I have a daughter who is in maiden phase, and she is definitely at that stage of life where she's wanting this independence and this, she has this beautiful vitality and zest for life, and also learning lots, which is a beautiful stage of life. And think about how we feel about our bodies in that maiden phase. Take a moment to reflect on, how did you feel when you're in this maiden time of life? What did you think of your body? How did you feel? Then we move to the mother, which is associated with the season of summer. And yes, it is the full moon, associated with the full moon. This is a time of fertility, nurturing, creativity. It represents maturity and responsibility. It's the power of creation. It's not just in terms of childbirth, but it's also about endeavoring, is that the word? Endeavoring to go after your creative pursuits, like go after those things that you want to come and bring to life. So being in the mother phase, when I reflect on that, for me, my goodness, it was the hardest season. Summer, and being in the mother stage was the hardest season of life. My body was most definitely in this beautiful place where it was agile and able to pivot and chop wood and carry water. It was the real work engine of life. And I had times where I did appreciate my body, but there was also other times where it just never felt good enough. I was often measuring it up. I remember a stage where, and I'm sure you may have said this, if only I could just lose 5 kilos. And I look back at that now and think I was just perfectly beautiful and gorgeous back then. And I still am now in this Maga phase, but the bar felt quite high back then. It really did. When I look at those jeans in my cupboard that I used to wear then, which I need to just throw out, but I think, gosh, you're in this beautiful stage of life. You're able to run after kids and look after kids and just enjoy it. But it was hard work. And I'm sure I'm speaking to a lot of women who have been in that mother area of life where it's all the balls juggling. You are wanting to get your own, in my circumstance, your own business and career up and running, as well as being this incredible mother and a wife and all the things. But it is a great time that supports building, sustaining. It's about relationships, it's about career, and it's about community, but it's mostly about creativity and nurturing your children. It's associated with the Greek goddess Demeter and the Celtic goddess Danu, that is the mother energy. So thinking yourself when you're in this mother phase, or maybe you're there now, how do you feel about your mummy body? Because it does change. It's not, it has perhaps birthed a child, or it's in a different phase. Maybe the belly's a little softer and the boobs aren't as perky, but there's this beautiful earthiness and gorgeous. The hands aren't as soft as they were because you're always working, but it's such a beautiful, beautiful stage of life. All stages are beautiful. Then we move to Maga, which is me right now, which I am most definitely embracing this stage. There is a certain freedom in this stage of life for me, and still a certain confidence, but I do grieve the loss of my mummy and maiden body, mostly my mummy body. Interesting. So the Maga is the autumn phase. Maga phase sometimes includes a modern interpretation of the triple goddess. Like I said, because our lifespan has stretched now, we don't go straight from mother to crone, we come to Maga. It's associated with the autumn season, the waxing moon. It is a time of wisdom, transformation, and empowerment. I would absolutely say that the transformation of no longer having children at home, and then being able to have this wisdom and feel really empowered to go after my hopes and dreams, because I don't have to chop wood and carry water in this season of life. There's a sweetness to life right now, which is time and money and space, time with my gorgeous husband and this space, and looking at my children, almost looking at the fruits of my labor, going, I have raised some pretty incredible children and they are kind, well-adjusted human beings. And that's a fruit of my labor, of all the time and energy that was put into them and myself through that stage. So the attributes of the Maga woman in autumn, not as commonly recognized as a maiden, the mother, or the crone, but gaining acknowledgement for representing midlife empowerment and transformation. It's an energy of self-awareness, leadership, and spiritual insight. Time for embracing inner power, personal growth, and guiding others. And it is such a lovely time where now I don't read books, I listen to books. I'm listening to so many more books now because I've got this spaciousness, and it is time for that spiritual insight and wisdom. And then we move to the wise woman, the crone. The crone feels like a really harsh term, wouldn't you agree? However, you can switch it out and say wise woman instead of crone. So this is the winter phase of life. And I look at my beautiful mother, who has most definitely slowed down. She is a redhead, has always been a fiery redhead, but I know that she has softened in that. The crone phase signifies wisdom and completion and endings. It's associated with winter. And the dark moon represents a final stage of life where one embodies accumulated wisdom and experience, associated with the Greek goddess Hecate and the Celtic goddess Credwin. Energies of reflection, counsel, and transformation, a time of introspection, spiritual depth, preparing for the next cycle of life. I would also say, and I don't know if this is a personality type, but I look at the storyteller of the wise woman. If I think about my mum and even my father, the storytelling, I know the grandchildren love to hear stories. And I feel like the wise woman is the storyteller too, who imparts the information from the past and what they've done in their own life. I also think of my own grandmother being the wise woman. She was like the telegraph of the family. She would keep us all connected and let us know who's pregnant and who's about to get engaged and who got a new job. And I love that the wise woman gets to keep the family together, and she is the head of the family. The crone also, looking at my mum, I had a realization the other day and I laughed at myself. When I was younger, I used to always think my mum dressed really young. I'd go, "Oh, you can't wear that, mum. Why are you dressing? You're dressing like a teenager." I used to laugh. And just recently I was shopping with mum and she went to a section in David Jones that she would never have went to. And I didn't say a word. And then I watched a top she'd bought, and she's in her 70s now. And it was just funny seeing how mum had changed. And I was thinking back when I would say to her, "Stop dressing like that. You're dressing like a teenager." And I think, gosh, she still felt really youthful. She was in her mother phase, maybe mother Maga phase, and still had this incredibly gorgeous body. And of course she still does now, but this incredibly gorgeous body, and dressed to me like a teenager, but she was being fully expressed in that season of life and appreciating her beautiful body. So a little reflection today. How did you feel about your body when you were a maiden? How did you feel about your body when you were a mother, or if you are a mother? And if you're not yet in Maga phase and not yet in wise woman phase, how do you want to feel about your body? Letting go of the beauty standards, letting go of the expectations of having to try and look like you're 30 when you're 50, perhaps being okay with having a few grey hairs and a few crow's feet, perhaps being okay with not having the most plumpest lips like you used to. I don't know, whatever it is for you, but how you measure your body or mark your body, know that it's perfectly okay and perfectly normal that we move through these stages. We've all had a wonderful maiden phase, a wonderful mother phase, and now Maga and then wise woman. And my work at the moment, my personal work at the moment, is to allow myself to settle into this Maga phase and actually appreciate where I'm at. This morning in Morning Magic, one of the women, it's her birthday, and she said, this morning was about, being grateful and being aware. Being aware was our theme this morning. What are you aware of? And she said, "I'm aware that I'm really grateful that I'm 55 today." And yes, I thought to myself, it's an absolute privilege. I have lost two friends, youngish, and I thought of both of them and thought, that is not a privilege they got. They didn't get a chance to be Maga. They didn't get a chance to be here. They didn't get a chance to have another birthday. They are forever young. But I think about the different stages, and it really is an honor and a pleasure to move through. That's what we're here for. We cannot stop it. So I hope that you have a little moment to reflect on where you are in your stage of life, your maiden, your mother, your Maga, your crone, and appreciate where you're at. And then look to the women to the left of you and to the right of you and appreciate them. I know I certainly appreciate maiden energy. Now, just recently, our trip to India, we had 3 mothers and 3 daughters that traveled together. And we loved that maiden energy on that retreat. My goodness, it was just gorgeous. This youthfulness and this gorgeousness and this innocence and joy was just beautiful. So, my darlings, let's celebrate all of the women around us, whether they are maiden, mother, Maga, or crone, and let them know that they are doing an awesome job where they are. And I hope you are happy in the stage of life you're at. And if you're not, it's time to dig a little deep and do a little bit of soul searching. Thank you, my darlings. May your day be filled with joy and love. From one Maga woman to another gorgeous woman, whatever stage you're at, go and have an awesome day.